I just can't drink juice and sleep. You mumbled with sigh. You are sincerely preparing for your upcoming university exams, so you didn't even have your lunch at college. Now you feel tired and hungry at the same time. It's almost your dinner time. Your tired eyes wander through your whole kitchen to find your best buddy. No ramen in my kitchen? No, that was actually shocking. Ramen comes on top of the food list always, but you ran out of it now. You remember that it's the end of the month, which means you need to go for your little shopping soon. Your stomach grumbled again as you fake cried a little. Looking over your clock, you decided to head out for buying some ramen packets. Okay, it's only 9 p.m., so it's not too late to go out. Getting inside your hoodie, you grabbed your purse, and after locking the door, you headed out. It was chilling terribly, or maybe the sudden impact of coldness on your skin made you feel more cold. You rubbed your hands together to keep yourself a little warm. Looking up in the sky, you saw no stars or moon, but dark clouds covering them. Maybe it will rain? Luckily, the convenience store near your apartment was opened, so you straight went inside. The girl who was sitting at billing counter smiled widely after seeing you as you were a regular customer. You passed her a sweet smile and went to look for your favorite packet of ramen. Quickly putting 4 packets inside a basket, you stood in a line for paying. You grabbed your things before heading out of the store. Just when you started walking slowly, while feeling the wind touching your exposed skin, you let out a shiver and suddenly you felt something wet on your shoulder. Looking up in the sky, a raindrop fell right in your eyes and it started raining as you thought before. Oh God, you exclaimed, covering your head with your one hand while the other held your bag. You started running faster, but the rain was getting heavier and heavier, and your apartment was still 5 blocks away from where you were standing. Dropping the idea of going back, you stood under your closed store. You looked over your clothes, drenched in rain, but not completely yet. Still, you made an annoying face while dusting off your hoodie. You let out a sigh while watching the city pouring in a rain. It actually feels so good to watch rain. You were lost in admiring the beautiful scene when you heard someone's foot approaching you. Hey, beauty, the man said while looking over your exposed legs. He looked at you with eyes which made you uncomfortable. He stood near you as you took a side step, but he took another step to closer to you. You cursed yourself for wearing shorts at night, but also you didn't saw this coming, right? Biting on your lower lip, you tried to keep your calm and not to panic, but the man beside you noticed your state. You look lonely. Should I drop you somewhere? You annoyed at his remark and looked away. Playing hard to get, huh? He huffed and gave a light spank on your thigh. Flinching at his sudden action, panic took over you. What? What are you doing? Stay away from me. You shuddering while stepping backwards. But if you took a step back more, you will end up being wet in rain, and this time you didn't care about it. You just wanted to run, but before you could do something, he grabbed your wrist harshly. Most of the street were empty, which made you more anxious. The smirk on his face grew wider as he saw the fear in your eyes, which satisfied his so-called male ego. He leaned in closer to you as you wiggled in his grip, but he was stronger. Before he could do any harm to you, he was already thrown away from you by someone. You heard a thud sound as you opened your eyes and looked around to see the man on the floor. How dare you to touch her, huh? This voice, You could never forget the voice. Yes, it's Jungkook. He was beating the man like a crazy beast. Jungkook dragged him through the street, not caring about the rain. He kept punching and kicking him. Jungkook was angry, too angry to be more precise, his eyes turning red, every veins of his hands popping out as he punched the man. He saw him beating the man like there was no tomorrow. If he continued like this, then he might end up killing him too, which you can't let happen. Blood mixing in the rain, the scene you were witnessing was dreadful, and reason? You. How dare you to touch her, you? He growled, landing another punch on his jaw. You knew he won't stop. You just knew him too well, and so you ran in between them. Jungkook, stop! He seemed not to hear your voice as you stood behind him. He knows you don't like violence, but still he can't help. You sighed and grabbed his arm. Please, Jungkook, stop it! Your voice is cracked as your eyes welled up with tears. He lets out a sigh and looks at you with much soft gaze. Are you okay? He asked, brushing his fingers through your cheeks. You nodded, looking at him. He turned around to see the man who already ran for his precious life. What are you doing here at this hour? He asked in a stern voice. You lowered your gaze, and it landed on his knuckles. You are bleeding, you whispered and held his hand, yearning a hiss from him. Looking up at him, you noticed a few scratches on his cheek and near your lip too. I'm fine, it's okay, he coldly replied as you looked away. I will drop you home. Come with me, he said, more like a demand. You nodded, just because you wanted to treat his wounds. Grabbing your bag, you walked with him in complete silence. For the first time, you saw him without his sports car. He didn't complain to walk with you. Just like you, his clothes too was completely drenched, or maybe more than you. The rain didn't stop, but it was slow now, so you both didn't mind walking. It was complete silence between you two, your hands brushing through each other, but no one held anyone. How far it is? He asked, breaking the silence. We are almost there. He nodded as he took a glance at his side profile face, his wet hairs, his sharp jawline, and his doe eyes. No doubt why whole college has crush on him, even though he owns the title of cold bad boy. He doesn't really bad, but he can't stand injustice, and in any way he chooses violence as a way to save anything or anyone. What were you doing there though? You asked, but he didn't answer for a while. I was just taking a walk nearby. Humming at his response, you kept walking until you reached your apartment. Well, bringing a guy in your apartment wasn't really in your list until Jungkook happened it. You had a crush on him, his personality, but not on his actions and the way he handles situations. You were like calm, a cheerful person, and he was like a fire at cold ice. It was just too hard to read him, and somewhere inside you, you wanted to read him. He was about to leave after dropping you as you stopped him. Won't you come inside? He looked at you amusingly. Are you inviting me? You nodded as he followed you inside. Make yourself home, you exclaimed as he nodded and sat on a couch while looking around. Meanwhile, you went inside your bedroom and changed your wet clothes first. Grabbing the first aid kit from your drawer, you went in your living room. Jungkook? Let me treat your wounds as a thank you. He didn't say anything, so you kneeled down and started cleaning his knuckles first. As you were putting antiseptic cream on him, he stared at you with a pleasant look on his face. How badly he wished he could just hold you forever in his arm. But you won't let him do that. That's what he thinks. Cleaning up his knuckles, you went towards his face casually, brushing your fingertips through his lips corner and his cheek, glowing on his skin, making him feel somewhat ecstatic. The beats of his heart went frenzy as a smile made its way on his lips. He dies to even touch you, and now here you are, literally sticking to him. Your eyes wander towards his body, his white thin t-shirt being see-through, giving clear glimpse of his well-built abs. But then your eyes get stuck to one place. Right above his chest, you can see something dark ink type. As he was drowning in your half-wet haired beauty, you took a clear look of his ink. That was a tattoo. His t-shirt which was sticking to his skin gave you more proper look, and then it hit you like a hot truck. That's my name? You whispered in disbelief as he smirked. At least you noticed, he stated as you shook your head. Indeed, you have a crush on him, but it cannot be really true that he also has crush on you, can it? But why? You asked, stepping away from him, but he was quick enough to hold you still close to him. Because I love you, he simply said, making your insides go wild in excitement as well as in shock. What? You uttered, meeting with his gaze as he gave you another smile. Bad boy like me falling in love. It's weird, right? But the day I saw you, I know you are the one, only one for me. Loving you in public ain't easy because of my reputation. So I decided to love you secretly. My heart belongs to you, Ryan. He held up your chin, making you look straight in his doe eyes. I love you, Ryan. I love your name, your soul, your smile, your eyes, every little to little thing about you. You gulped hearing his confession. Everything goes silent. The only sounds that echoes are your heavy breathings, heart beatings, and the pitter-patter sound of raindrops on your window. It started raining again. You didn't know that he loves you. You didn't know that his heart already belongs to you. All you knew was you had a crush on him, you liked him. You have seen him stealing glances at you, shooting other guys away from you, but you thought it's just his habit, but no, the man is actually madly in love with you. Your eyes staring at him in silence actually kills him. He fears the rejection from his very first love. It's odd, yet he wants to try. You blink and gather up your courage to answer him. Yeah, can I see it more clearly? He chuckles, seeing the pink flush covering your cheeks. You looked adorable to him. He nodded and removed his shirt as he looked here and there. He got body of Greek god, and you can't help but blush at the thought of your name engraved on his skin. Do you want to touch it? You nod like a child as you get mesmerized by the beautiful art on his body. You never thought that your own name could be written this beautifully. You let your fingertips touch his skin, sending shivers to him. Your one touch gave him a different feeling, although your eyes spooled with tears as you thought of the pain he must have felt while inking his skin. Hey, Ryan, what happened? He asked, holding up your face in his large hands. Why? Why did you do this? You whispered, looking down at him. Because I love you, Ryan, he said while wiping your tears. That's permanent, Jungkook. This will forever be on your skin. Getting tattoo isn't a joke. Does my love looks like a joke to you? I know what I was doing that time and I wanted it so that I would remind myself that I have to change myself for you. He couldn't take his last sentence correctly. Change himself? I have been trying to do things right without violence because I know you don't like it, but I can't help it. I have never got a reason to change myself, but you gave me one, and I want to be the right one for you. You felt overwhelmed and lucky to be loved by him. Biting on your lower lip, you straightened your posture and sat right beside him. You don't have to answer right now, Wyatt. Just know that I love you. I love you a lot, more than you could ever imagine, he said while holding your hand. He pulled you closer to him, not realizing that he is actually shirtless right now. Your gaze is low. You didn't know what to say. You let out a sigh as you look up at him, and your eyes met him with his desperate ones, which are actually cheeking for an answer. You, Jungkook, you don't have to do anything alone. I I will help you, you said as his lips curved up in a small smile. You you want when you want to give us a chance? You nodded, making him the happiest person. Yes, because I I love you too. I just didn't know how to confess. I want you to choose the right path, control your anger, use your power where it is actually necessary. He said, making him nod again. Till now, you didn't even realize the position you both were in. He was shirtless and still off wet. You were almost stick to his body as he held you closer, your faces inches apart. You forgot to dry your hairs, which made them stick to your face and shoulder. As the tension between you two grew up, you suddenly sneezed. Sorry, I'm sensitive to rain, you stated, rubbing your nose as he chuckled. You got up and looked outside. It's raining heavily though. You mumbled and your stomach grumbled again. Looks like you didn't eat anything, he said as you nodded. Jungkook, put on your shirt first. You looked down to hide your pink shade cheeks, which he found awfully cute. That is a spare clothes of my brother as he comes to visit me, so you can change into them. Until then, I will make something to eat, okay? Getting up from your couch, he walked towards you closer until your back hit the wall and he trapped you between his arms. Get used to it because I'm not so fond of wearing clothes. His voice came out husky and deep as you shyly smiled and hit him playfully, but again you sneezed. Princess, you sit here. I will make something for you. Princess? You couldn't help but blush more at the nickname he gave you. Placing down 2 bowls of ramen, you sat with him on a couch. By now, your nose turned red due to cold. Eating up quickly, Jungkook made you sleep on his chest, securely wrapping his arm around you, and he kissed your temples. I will surely change myself for you, Ryan. Sweet dreams, my love. He couldn't believe it. The name which was engraved on his skin since months actually turned into that person lying on his chest now. He was happy would be an understatement. He just wanted to love you in every possible way, and to win your heart, he was ready to risk anything.